We are cutting through the noise, which clearly is everywhere, and diving straight into 3 things holding you back in tech sales prospecting. And I'm going to show you exactly how to fix them. So hang around. Starting with this, 42% of salespeople say prospecting is the hardest part of their job. And yet it's truly the most important. That's where everything starts. Marketing may have something else to say about that. But today we're going to talk about real barriers. 3 of them: overthinking, emotions, and communication, and backing it up with data. No fluff, just real actionable advice coming from somebody who also spent a lot of time prospecting. We are going to turn the maybes, the no's, into heck yeses. Sound good? Let's go. So, point number 1, overthinking prospecting. Raise your hand if this situation sounds familiar. You spend 90 minutes scrolling through LinkedIn or your CRM, convincing yourself you're researching. Trust me, I've been there. But you haven't actually taken a sales action. No email, no call. It's probably because you're overthinking and trying to build something perfect going into that call. One might say it's a good problem to have. Well, here's why a change is needed. 50% of buyers choose the vendor that responds first, full stop. So while you're perfecting an email or taking an extra 5 minutes to find something on LinkedIn, your competitor already hit send, and their chances of winning the deal just went up 50%. So here's the fix: getting comfortable with imperfection. There's a couple reasons why, but let's start with a little framework because this is very simple. When you are researching your prospects, start with these 3 items. Answer these 3 questions, and that's it. Then you're ready to go. Who are they? That means where do they work? What job do they do? And how do they do it? What is their pain? And this you may not know. You probably haven't talked to them yet. However, what are others that you've talked to in the same position at similar companies feeling for their pain? Well, that's probably what this prospect is as well. And then finally, how can you solve it? Does your solution, product, whatever your company is offering, does it solve this person's pain? Does it help them achieve their goals? That's it. Write the email. In fact, if I were you, I would write down the answers to those 3 things into ChatGPT, and I would ask for a concise, professionally written, quality, first touch sales email and refine from there. Action beats lengthy analysis every time in this job, in a job where you're cold calling. Think of it this way: even a meh email is going to get more results than no email. You will get better over time with quality, but quantity is almost always an initial challenge, and it certainly was for me. Just hitting send is a challenge. All right, let's move forward to point number 2. I think this is the most important point personally. However, I also think it's the most challenging point: emotions and how to ignore, not a great word to use, ignore the game that's being played. Sales is emotional. It just is. You've got rejection, deadlines, the one deal you thought was a sure thing that allow you to hit quota, and then the prospect ghosted you harder than ever. Your manager, your VP are upset. Research actually shows, and this is from Salesforce, 69% of buyers want sales reps to really listen to their needs. You might say, duh, why wouldn't 100%? Well, not every buyer is the same, and some buyers are really not up for a meaningful conversation. They just are doing something transactional, and maybe what they're purchasing is very transactional, but the vast majority would much prefer that you actively listen to them. Here's the kicker though. Sounds easy, but you can't effectively listen if you are not in a good emotional state. I have been there. I called my parents the first year that I was a business development representative, 22 years old, crying 6, 7 times in the first year, 22 years old. I've been there. Drop a like for me sharing that on camera. Thank you. Emotions aren't bad. I don't want it to seem that way. In fact, they're really good. They're energy. It's about channeling them properly and in a way that allows you to do the job at the highest level that you can. When you are frustrated, one, acknowledge that you care. That's point one, why you're frustrated. And that means that's a very good thing. Let's put it that way. But do the little things. Take a walk. Breathe for 5 minutes. Go work out for a second. Whatever works for you. But don't ignore that stuff, because that is absolutely essential to being a high performer in tech sales. And when rejection hits, and when it hits hard, reframe it. Instead of "I failed," you need to tell yourself over and over and over, I am one no closer to a yes. In fact, I would put it this way, because that's so cliche. A no is part of the process. On average, it takes 8 touch points to secure a meeting with a prospect. 8, that is proof that rejection isn't failure. It's a step forward. It truly is. But the only way that you will truly feel that is if you start telling yourself that now. And a week into telling yourself that, maybe take a note at how you're kind of naturally thinking. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. I came up with that quote. No, I didn't, obviously, but as cliche as it is for a reason. Point number 3, I think this one will be your favorite, and that is communication skills. Now, no matter who you are, when you step into a role where you're picking up the phone and cold calling businesses, there's a lot to learn. And there's a lot to learn about the specific communication style that fits your style naturally and also is leading to high performance type of behavior. Too many people in sales are trying to emulate each other when it comes to a personality or tonality. That's not the route to success. A lot of salespeople also, and I'm raising my hand because I have a huge hurdle with this, is rambling, pitching, over pitching, and instead of talking to somebody, I'm sorry, I should say this. We are talking to somebody instead of connecting with somebody. Sales is about connecting. In order to connect with somebody, you have to listen to them. Here's some data for you. This is according to Gong. Sales calls with pauses of 3 to 5 seconds after asking a question have a 30% higher success rate. Five seconds is a long time, isn't it? We just sat through it. It feels like a long time, but here's what it does. It gives prospects time to think, and you have to give people time to think. So even though the silence may feel weird to you and long to you because you are waiting on a response, they are collecting their thoughts and they're formulating what their response is going to be. Give them the time to do so. And silence shows confidence. Here's how to fix it. Clarity is king. Clarity is queen. Stop using buzzwords. Nobody's impressed by synergy. Use plain, clear language. Pause often. Confidence gives them space to process. And 3 is spend time working on the questions that you ask. And my biggest tip is to build a habit of using the phrase, "Tell me more about that." Then just shut up and listen. Ask an initial question, get the response. It will likely be surface level. And with a tone of curiosity, Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Watch what happens, please. And if you've done it, comment below with whatever your results were. But tell me more about that. Is an unbelievably powerful phrase in sales. So there you have it. 3 things that might be holding you back and how to fix them or start fixing them today. Overthinking prospecting. Remember, 50% of buyers go with the vendor who responds first. So more important to get to them first as opposed to sending the perfect email or making the perfect call. Emotions. This was the biggest challenge for me when I started on the phones. Reframe them and keep going because it takes 8 touch points to land a meeting. And communication. If that's a weak spot for you, that's okay. Simplify it. Don't try to throw in a bunch of buzzwords. Pause often and listen. It is a proven path to success. If this video helped you, do me a favor, please. If you would, hit the like button, subscribe. You will get more helpful, real, data-backed tips to be a better prospector, to be better in tech sales, to be a high-level communicator, to grow your confidence in public speaking and presenting and facilitating. And I'm just here to help, really. That is, I really am happy to share what I've learned over the years. I've trained thousands of sales reps. I've been in sales enablement and strategy for the last 8 years. I hope this helps. And best of luck out there, everyone. And make sure, over anything, every day, you get out and you get at them. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you taking the time to watch.